Welcome to Rauta, welcome to Underground Trio here, as one of the episodes is coming out, and I'm Jerry. This time I'm gonna guide you three different underground bands from various parts of the world. Technically speaking, two albums from Finland, two albums from Bestial Burst label, and the one is from Ardua. So let's go through them in worst to best according to my own opinion. Feel free to disagree, that's part of the deal here. And first we'll head to Australia with the legendary cult act known as Faces of Death. Some people might remember this from early 90s, and most like me, not really. I mean, this band totally escaped me back in the days, and it is until now that I got to hear it for the first time. As you can see, this one is saying Sonic Assault 1992. Here I'm saying the first tracks on the album are actually from 1993, and then you have some live tracks 92, 93, and onwards. This is technically speaking a compilation, which is then again complemented with a lot of pictures around the years, through the years, and as such this is a little bit hard to digest, being more than 78 minutes of music. Let that sink in for a bit. It comes with a nice postcard in case you wanna send greetings to your favorite friend or spouse, and there's a current promotional picture of the band, two guys, and then you have track list on the other side of thing. 29 tracks all in all. So this features also the debut album, the only album the band made back in the days, early 90s, and then live tracks and, well, compilation tracks. As such, this is a kind of a mess in terms of production and all, and also a little bit hard to review properly. I mean, if you focused on the album only, you would say this is quite a bit better than including all the tracks and trying to give the score that is suitable for the whole release in general. So I'm trying to be fair here, obviously. Now, the style here is something like, nowadays you would call it death grind. I mean, there's a lot of old school death metal, even to a level of some thrash metal parts included. And as such, this is very, very much like, taking into account the feeling that is, of course, rather lo-fi, and it's kind of dirty. It's somewhat mushy. Let's be honest about it. This is very, very many ways like Australian counterpart to early Napalm Death and Carcass. And of course, there's nothing wrong with that. If you like the old school, dirty, simplistic death metal with a little bit of grind in the mix, or more in the mix, not as much as Napalm Death or Carcass, but still, then you're right up for this ride. Then again, you also have to understand that a lot of these bonus tracks, if you will, are not exactly on the same level as with the debut album. Like I said, that makes this hard to review in a way that you want to be fair and honest, but also you don't want to give a little bit too much leeway just because some of the tracks sound like, okay, we could have really lived without them. So it depends whether you count the bonus tracks as equals to the debut album or just bonus tracks, and something thinking like, I can choose not to listen to them in case I want to maintain the quality throughout the album. Like, because of the debut album nature and the early years, of course, the production is not really strong. It's more like, rather timely thing, zeitgeist, if you will. So it's not really powerful. It's not really strong in so many ways. It's more like, yeah, it's listenable, but nothing out of ordinary. So this is more like a time capsule thing that just resurfaced now, and as such you must really take it like that. But if you want to compare it to a lot of those bands back in the days from the death metal department, I mean, whether we're talking about Cannibal Corpse, Death, Obituary, whatever, this pales in comparison. It's obvious these guys didn't have enough brutality or production or budget, whatever, in order to just, compete with those guys. But if you're more into, say, dirty underground stuff like the early Napalm Death and Carcass, and you like them really honestly, I think this is definitely right up the alley. It's not, anything fantastic. It's not really anything surprising, but more like something you might have missed back in the days for various reasons, like the band not being that active and all. But it's not really great. It's only for underground maniacs, but give it a go or not, it's up to you. Then we'll go to totally different era with the band called Zahadum in Timeless Void's debut album. This is a solo project from Finland with only one man, Orm, doing everything here. Already from the cover you can pretty much figure it out. It's very, very cosmic in nature, and as such acts like limbic art might come to your mind. Also the name. There are two options which way to go. Either you take it as a Babylon 5, the legendary cult sci-fi series reference, or take it from the Infected Mushroom bands with the song same name. They might go even the same roots. I do not know. I'm just wildly making guess. This comes with a nice glossy digipack with the cover of very cosmic nature and the track listing on the other side, obviously. Then you have the simplistic nature here. I mean, this is a photo of the band member. Very, very little things to be said. And then you have the booklet with lyrics and all. This is very, very readable. Thank you for the label and whoever decided to go with this, because I mean there are plenty of booklets which are like, okay, let's go with the evil font, and there it's very readable, and you're like, why do that with the lyrical section and all? Now, being cosmic nature, this is more like a Hate Forest marrying limbic art. From limbic art you have those cosmic keyboard parts which are definitely putting into the world of Mass Effect in terms of keyboards and all. Mass Effect, that's the video game reference, by the way. And as such, you're like, okay, this is about space, this is about cosmic trips, this is about cosmic atmosphere. So, more like, let's leave Earth behind, let's space travel and all. And the keyboards work fine. There's nothing wrong with that. And when it comes to Hate Forest, this is more like a hypnotic patterns. The songs are sometimes very lengthy, 7-9 minutes or so. And it's kind of a very, very repetitive, very monotone. That is, there's not too much change in tempos and whatnot. Some parts are more industrial nature. Some are just more like a basic black metal. Now, when it comes to the riffs, some are quite good. Some are very bulky, like filling the gaps. So it's more like a, not exactly great, not exactly mediocrity. But then there are a couple of major flaws which I hope the band will address later on. And these are important. These are not like, okay, just more like a seasoning. First of all, the vocals, they are very much affected. Like there's strong effects layered all around them, and that makes rather lousy, lame all. I mean, even your basic raspy or screamy, shrieky, screamy vocals might do the trick. But now it's more like, it's more like having these effects like doing the stuff, and there's not power, there's not aggression, there's nothing but silly effects dominating the vocals. And I would say, if you cannot do it without these vocals, get somebody else to do. You probably are connected enough. Because to me, they feel like rather annoying and more so weak, powerless. So it's like remove black metal vocals, remove aggression from black metal, and have the black metal vocals do it kind of like in the silly ways. This is what you get. The other thing is a guitar sound. Me coming from way beyond just black metal background and feeling the guitar sound is way too weak. It's more like reminding me of those 1990s video games where the electric guitar, distorted guitar was like emulated, not really real guitars, but something like, and you're like, okay, this sounds lame. Comparing to a lot of metal styles out there, this sounds like these guitars are powerless and weak, pathetic in a way. I'm saying this because, when you come from a background including thrash metal, doom metal, death metal and all, you want the power, you want the heaviness, you want the metal in your metal music. This sounds more like a plastic version, like an AI generated thing doing the guitars. So it's like losing the cutting edge. It's like taking a wooden butter knife instead of some real deal. And it annoys me because these riffs deserve more. These vocals deserve more, and the vocals need to be better. So I'm saying the outcome is really mediocrity, even if the songs are a lot better, because this seems like a demo version of what could have been. Also, the songs are a little bit too lengthy, but I'll let that slide. So this is very much potential work, but no cigar this time. And then of best of the pile is totally different style. This is also from Finland, Counting Hours. The previous album was more like melodic death doom metal, and now it's more like melodic death or just melodic metal. These guys know how to sound powerful. This production is really, really neat. It's really giving the guitars like let the, sing powerful ways. And then you go for melodic riffings. By the way, these are filled with autographs, thanks to the band. And the CD features yet another band photo. This style is more like missing the doom death elements now. There's not much growly vocals. I mean, it's very, very much like faded to the background. But the melodic riffs are somewhat good. There is a lot of melancholia here, which is then again nice. It's kind of a dark. So now you're thinking, this is more like Catatonia and Amorphis making a baby. Roughly in that segment, and then you have Counting Hours. There's a lot of potential here, but I feel also that the band let the heaviness go out in the window, losing the doom death elements and replacing them with more, say, melodic metal elements or melodeath elements. It's like a different audience, basically. It's not too drastic of a change, but I'm still saying this is a step back or step sideways rather than progressing from the first album. These are matters of taste. Some people will probably like this one more than the debut album because this is more digestible. I would say this is more commercial. And I'm not saying that in a neat or evil way. I'm just saying it is more like that, and as such, this is definitely not necessarily the same in the audience. If you're looking for doom death metal, this probably ain't your cup of tea. If you're like melodic death metal, it probably is. And if you're just for melodic metal, with not too much heaviness or brutality, whatever, yeah, go for it. Now, off you go. All the albums are, or bands are, they're included in the links below, the box, description box. So link from them and get to know them. Because a couple of them are very, very fresh from the oven, released actually the very same day I'm doing this video. Some links have not been included, which might be there later on. So in case you feel they're a little bit outdated, that's for a reason. But now off you go. You figure out for yourself if these bands are for you or not. But my take is here. So go enjoy it. Don't be a hater and all. Bye bye.